There's something happening inside your brain right now, every time you remember the past. And nobody ever told you what it actually is. You think it's just a feeling, a memory, something warm from a long time ago. It isn't. You're probably wondering, okay, so what is nostalgia? Some people would say it's a feeling, a nice one, like flipping through old photos on a rainy afternoon. But when scientists actually studied it, they found something very different. Nostalgia isn't just a feeling, it's a system, a process your brain runs, like a program, every time the present feels too heavy to carry. We're going to come back to exactly what the system is doing to you. But first, you need to know where it came from and who noticed it first. The word nostalgia was invented in 1688. A Swiss doctor named Johannes Hofer created it to describe soldiers who were getting physically sick from missing home. Headaches, fevers. They stopped eating. Some of them died. And the doctor said, "This is a disease." You're probably asking, a disease? From missing home? Yes, that is how seriously this feeling was taken. For the next 200 years, nostalgia was classified as an illness. Doctors were afraid of it. Then something changed. Sometime in the early 1900s, companies started to notice something. If you made people feel nostalgic, they would spend money. Nostalgia didn't just move people emotionally, it moved them financially. And that is the moment nostalgia stopped being a disease and started being a tool. You're probably wondering, a tool used by who? We're getting there. Here's what I want you to hold on to. If you grew up in the 70s or 80s, you were the target of one of the largest emotional engineering projects in modern history. We'll get into exactly how that worked, but first, you need to understand what nostalgia is doing inside your brain right now, because this is where it gets surprising. When you feel nostalgic, your brain releases dopamine. Dopamine is the chemical that makes you feel good. It fires when you eat something delicious, when you hear a love song. But here's the part most people are never told. Your brain doesn't release dopamine because the past was actually better. It releases dopamine because the memory feels safe. You're probably asking, what's the difference? This. When you remember something from childhood, your brain edits it automatically, without asking you. It quietly removes the hard parts, the fear, the boredom, the confusion. What's left is a highlight reel, a best of, and your brain runs that highlight reel and rewards you for watching it. Scientists call this the rosy retrospection effect. The further away a memory is, the better it looks. And after 50, the memories are very far away. You're probably wondering, why does it start to feel heavier then? Less like a warm memory and more like something that aches. Hold that, we're getting there. In the 1980s, companies got very good at one specific thing: attaching emotions to products. They didn't just sell you cereal, they sold you Saturday morning. The sound of cartoons, the smell of the kitchen, the feeling of having nowhere to be. They didn't just sell you a toy, they sold you belonging. The feeling of being a kid who had the right things, who fit in, who were safe. So you're probably asking, was that an accident? No. There were rooms full of people, psychologists, researchers, marketing scientists, whose entire job was to figure out which emotions made children bond with a product the longest. They knew something important. If a child formed a strong emotional memory connected to a brand before the age of 10, that child would still feel warmth toward that brand at 50 years old. That wasn't a side effect, that was the plan. If this is making you uncomfortable, good. That's the right reaction. We're just getting to the part that matters most. If you want more of this, the hidden systems behind the things that shaped your generation, subscribe to Growing Up Unseen. New episodes every week. We never do the surface version of anything. Now, back to the question we left open. Why does nostalgia feel different after 50? Why can it shift from something warm into something that actually hurts? Here's what the research says. Nostalgia after 50 is not the same feeling it was at 30. Not because the memories change, because of what surrounds them now. When you were 30, nostalgia was a quick visit. You could feel it and come back. After 50, it can start to feel like the past is the only place that feels real. You're probably asking why. Because your brain is running a comparison every time. It's not just remembering 1983, it's holding 1983 right next to now and measuring the gap. And for many people, the present doesn't win that comparison. The world feels faster, louder, less connected. The neighborhood looks different. The stores are gone. And some of the people who were part of those memories, they're gone too. Psychologists call this kind of nostalgia restorative nostalgia. It's the type that doesn't just want to visit the past, it wants to go back. And that is where it can start to hurt. You're probably wondering, does this mean I'm grieving? Yes, but not what you think. You're not grieving the past, not exactly. You're grieving a version of yourself that lived in the past, the child who didn't know yet what was coming, who didn't have to carry what you carry now, who still had all of it ahead. There are small details your brain still holds on to even now. The sound of a screen door closing in the evening, the feeling of sitting on the floor instead of the couch, the way time used to stretch when a single afternoon felt like it lasted forever. Back then, nothing felt temporary. You didn't think about things ending. Stores didn't seem to close. People didn't seem to leave. Summers felt like they didn't run out. But your brain kept those moments quietly, almost perfectly, and now when they come back, they don't just bring comfort, they bring contrast. A reminder that something you once lived inside is now something you can only visit. That is the pull. That is what hurts. And the companies that engineered your memories, they built a door directly to that child. Every time you see a logo from 1979, every time a jingle plays, every time a smell takes you somewhere you haven't been in 40 years. You're probably asking, is that random? No. That door was built on purpose, and it was built for someone else's benefit before it was ever built for yours. So nostalgia was never just a feeling. It was a system built into you slowly over years, pointed at your wallet and your heart. And after 50, when the present gets heavy, that system runs harder than it ever has. You're probably asking, so what do I do with that? Maybe nothing. Or maybe it has less to do with remembering and more to do with who you really are. Because there is a real difference between a memory that found you and a memory that was sent. And once you know the difference, you don't just see your past more clearly, you start to see yourself differently. If that version of you isn't back there, then who are you now?